Good morning. I'm talking to you from my Italian kitchen. Today I'm going to cook something that is warm and filling, which is a spezzatino, basically a stew with various meats and mushrooms, which I will serve with some polenta because today, even though it is sunny outside, it is also very cold. And most of what I'm using are staples in my kitchen. So let's get started. So here are my ingredients. First of all, we have the meats. There's some beef, which is cut in chunks, and a salamella, which is a sausage from Mantova, 100% pork. I have onion, celery sticks. I have a bunch of celery actually. It's in my fridge, and a garlic clove. I have my fresh mushrooms. I have some dried mushrooms. And finally, I have some tomato passata, which is a 100% tomato sauce. Plus, we will need some wine, some herbs, some extra virgin olive oil, and a few extras. This is how I treat my mushrooms, the fresh mushrooms. I just pick them out of their box and remove. Oh, there's a baby one, and remove the root, which has the most dirt on it. As you can see, I just trim the bottom going on the bias, like this. Pretty easy. So as you can see here, I've already diced the onion and cut thinly the celery. Doesn't much matter how you do it, as long as the celery is nice and thin, because the onion and the celery will basically melt in the sauce. Now let's see how I clean the garlic clove quite easily. I cut off the bottom root like this. Then I place the side of my knife over the garlic clove and bash it a couple of times. And now, as you can see, the casing comes off really easily and you do not have to fight with it. And now it's time to also mince the garlic. Now for the mushrooms, first of all, you remove the stalk. As you can see here, it should come off quite cleanly, and this part will be sliced thinner because it's the hardest and less pleasurable part. As for the head, which is now very clean, I'm just slicing it into 4 pieces, 2 pieces if it's very small, 6 if it's big. Now it's time to prepare the meat. As you can see, I've already cut the sausage in pieces and I've started coating my other meat with the flour. I have the flour here in a deep bowl, and I just grab some of the meat from its tray and let it run freely in the flour until it's fully coated, and remove the excess and put it aside. As you can see, I'm only using one hand so that I have the other hand clean. So it's time now to start cooking the whole stew, spezzatino. I've placed my little Dutch oven on a medium heat and I'm waiting for it to warm up. Then I'll be adding some extra virgin olive oil. Once the oil is in, I'm adding the sausage first so that the fat renders out. And it's just coming to the right temperature and it starts to sizzle. Hope you can hear it. Now the meat has rounded as well, and I'm removing it to the same bowl. As you can see, it left a layer of flour and some fat, which is starting to stick and brown on the pan. But that's not a problem because right now I'm adding all of my vegetables. the garlic as well. And their fat should be removing this dark layer and the glaze in the pan. Later I'll also add some wine. So now the vegetables have started lifting the deposit in the bottom. I'm adding some rosemary and a few sage leaves. And I'm adding all of the meats back in with their juices. And it is time, it starts to smell nice. It is time to add a nice splash of white wine. A good splash, and I'm letting it evaporate so that all of the alcohol just goes away. So while the alcohol evaporates, in Italian we say sfumare. What I'm going to do is preparing the dried mushroom, which are in this mug, which is about knitting. It's my knitting mug. I will not throw away the water. The mushrooms have been soaking it in for about 20 minutes. I will let any silt deposit in the bottom, and then I will use this water in my recipe for extra flavor. So first thing, I'm retrieving the mushrooms from the water and squeezing out the excess, the water I'm saving. And now I will cut the mushrooms in small pieces with a knife. So I'm mincing them quite roughly. Going over in the opposite direction to make the pieces smaller. These dried mushrooms are there just for flavor. And now the spezzatino has been cooking for about 25 minutes. I add the mushrooms, the dried mushrooms, and the mushroom water, making sure I do not pour any residue in the bottom. As you can see, it's there. That's the part that I'm throwing away. Once the mushrooms are in, I'm also adding some tomato sauce. This is 100% tomato passata, just a little pinch of salt in the mixture, no sugar, no other ingredients. I also pour water in the bottle to rinse out any residue and add it to my pot. A little stir. And now I'm adding salt, hefty pinch but not too much, and a little bit of pepper. It will look like I'm grinding a lot, but my pepper mill doesn't actually work very well, so I need to grind a lot to get just a little bit of pepper. And the spezzatino cooks on, simmering very slowly. About 50 minutes before the spezzatino is ready, I'm going to make polenta. This is not instant polenta, so it takes a lot of time. I have brought to the boil a couple liters of water, and I have retrieved half a liter to a separate small pan. I'm dropping the polenta meal bit by bit while stirring with a whisk to prevent lumps from forming. Once it's been whisked, I can move on to the spoon. Some 40 minutes before polenta is ready, I'm adding the fresh mushrooms to the spezzatino pot, stirring them in, and from time to time I keep stirring my polenta. You do not need to actually stir continuously, but you have to stir very, very frequently and thoroughly. And I also give a little stir to the mushrooms. Here you can see the polenta, how it looks about 5 minutes before being ready. As you can see, it doesn't stick so much to the sides of the pan I'm using. And now my mom drops the polenta on the board where it will be served. It's wooden, so it keeps warm. The spezzatino is thick and delicious. And finally, here is my lunch. Polenta, spezzatino,